Okay, before we get to this video, and I really want you to see this video because it's bizarre what's happening, the decisions that people are making and why they're making these decisions. Before we get into this, I just want to say I think it's important for us to understand and realize, because maybe we can become more empathetic with our neighbors, with our fellow Americans. I think most people, maybe not most, a large portion of our society have good intentions. They're good, caring people, but the problem with that is that they're easy to exploit and manipulate, and most of them are deceived. And it's easy to deceive them. And I'm one of those people that's easy to deceive. If you believe that you are not easy to deceive, then you are more easy to deceive than somebody who knows they're easy to deceive. But you don't have to look any further, really, than the Milgram experiment and the Ash conformity experiments to realize that well-intentioned, good people can do some really, really bad things if they believe an authority told them to do it. Over 65% in Milgram's experiment delivered what they perceived to be an electric shock, a fatal electric shock, simply because a guy in a lab coat, an authority figure, told them to. In the Ash conformity experiment, people just acquiesce, they just submit, and they just go along with the crowd. The peer pressure is too great, and they just do what everybody else does. That's being a very, very dangerous person, when you can't just step back and pause and employ a little critical thinking and ask yourself, why are these people doing what they're doing? Why am I being told to do what other people seem like they're ready, willing, and able to go along with? Why am I supporting Team Blue? Why am I supporting Team Red? It's almost like nobody in our society stops to question what the heck is going on and why am I doing what I'm doing. Daniel Webster said good intentions will always be pleaded for every assumption of authority. It's not too strong to say that the Constitution was made to guard the people against the dangers of good intentions. Did you know that good intentions can be dangerous? They can be, because they can be hijacked by people who are, what we call social engineers and psychological operators, and they can get people to do things that they wouldn't normally do. And so I just want to say, it's not about you damn Democrats or you cult-like Kool-Aid drinking MAGA tards. We got to get out of that. The powers that shouldn't be want us to be at each other's throats. Divide and conquer is a tried and true recipe that works every single time. If they can divide us, we can be easily conquered. And hey, if we're easy to deceive by other human beings, wait till the algorithms kick in and we become this AI governed society. They'll really be able to deceive us. We won't even be able to tell if what we're watching is true or not. That's why I've kind of purposed in my own heart not to have any kind of AI generated content. I made some AI generated songs. I got it pinned to the top of my X platform, my X social media post. There's probably some good things that you can use AI for, but we are entering into a state of deception that is going to be so bad, you won't be able to tell if that's the sky or if it's the grass. You won't be able to tell if that's a man or a woman. You won't be able to tell if that's a real person or a robot or just something that's AI generated. We got to start employing some critical thinking. And I want to show you this woman on the screen right here. The name of the channel is Park Rose Permaculture. She appears to me to be a leftist / a Democrat. She's for Team Blue, completely against MAGA. But she plays this video where these MAGA faithful who once were basically bowing down, worshiping at the altar of Donald Trump, have kind of gotten a reality check because of all the things that are going on surrounding Charlie Kirk, what's going on with Donald Trump continuing on this to propagate and shovel boatloads of money into the pockets of Big Pharma, the Big Pharma industrial complex, all the standing armies with the ICE raids, the bombing of Iran, blowing up Venezuelan narco boats, or at least that's what they're telling us. But check out this video right here.
If you see this, you were meant to, so stop scrolling and hear me out. We are living in the last days, and there is deception running rampant. And I can't cannot keep my mouth shut about it anymore.
Hold tight, y'all, because her video is not going to go the way that you think. And also, thank you to Ginger for sending this to me because I had not seen this. I actually really want you to keep watching because I think this video is quite important. I'm going to show you a little bit more of it, and then I want to talk about it, especially about the comments that were left in response to what she has to say.
Always been a Trump follower. I have, loud and proud, was in the MAGA movement since it came down the escalator. I've been to numerous rallies. I have been on an intercessory prayer line for this man, like with other leaders in our country, praying for him every Sunday. And then was also at his inauguration. I was a huge Trump supporter.
I really wish I could turn the music down. This really bothers me when people try to talk over really loud music. But I would just ask this person right here, especially if you have Christian roots and you understand that you're not supposed to believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they're from God, have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather expose them. So why any Christian would ever have voted for Donald Trump or any politician, knowing that they all lie, they're all deceptive, they're all corrupt, they're all on the take, they all hang from the strings of the Zio International Banking Cartel, why anybody would continue to vote for Team Red or Team Blue is just beyond me.
After Charlie Kirk died, I asked God to reveal to me the true evil in this world. Give me the stomach to handle it, and give me the courage to expose it. I cannot sit back and keep quiet about what the Lord has revealed to me, especially when it comes to this administration. It is pure evil. It is divisive. It is satanic. And the worshiping of this man is idolatry. And Christians are being led to the slaughter. Wake up. Wake up. I'm guilty too, I have to say. So I understand. I understand the love and devotion to Donald Trump.
At least she admits it. It's very embarrassing to admit, but at least she admits it. Here's my concern about this, and I'm going to play the rest of it, and we're going to look at what Park Rose Permaculture has to say about it. But my concern is Donald Trump was so obvious. He was such a charlatan. He was so grossly immoral and corrupt. I mean, his best friend for 15 years was Jeffrey Epstein. What does that tell you about this guy? He has no ability to discern whether he's going to be surrounded by good people or bad people. He has no ability at all. That's just one thing. Not to mention the CARES Act. He likes take the guns first, due process second. He's completely a gun grabber with the red flag gun confiscation laws, was best friends with Henry Kissinger, warmonger Henry Kissinger, didn't jail Hillary Clinton. I mean, the list is endless. So why anybody would vote for him in 2016, and especially after 2016. And the next two rounds that anybody would cast their vote for this guy, or again, any politician, but if somebody even slightly more deceptive comes along, my concern is these guys are going to fall for that too.
Guys, hear me when I tell you, this man is no good. He is on the Epstein list. He is totally funded, totally compromised by the Israeli government. In the just the rhetoric of this cabinet and the way they are lying to us about the shooter of Charlie Kirk is just absolutely sick.
She goes on to exhort Christian Trumpers to come out from under this and tells them basically that Donald Trump is an evil man, the regime is evil, and that it was Charlie Kirk's death that really woke her up to this, that got her to, pray. And then the Lord revealed to her that Donald Trump is, I don't know, the Antichrist, a false prophet, a golden calf, whatever. I'm not gonna lie, I was really floored by this video. Again, thank you, Ginger, for sending it to me. I know that in the last couple of days I've talked a lot about the backlash effect and how it's really important when the Trump regime does something terrible and awful that they have to experience a backlash for it, that we have to make it come back and bite them in the butt, that everything they do is an opportunity for us to create backlash. And sometimes it's like an entire...
Who's the us? Who's the us? Because if she's saying, hey, come over to Team Blue, Team Donkey, Team Democrat, and leave Donald Trump, you're basically in the same boat filled with holes being steered by the Zio International Banking Cartel.
Unforced error. Sometimes it's something like Trump. There doesn't even have to be any effort on the part of the resistance movement. I think this is what we're seeing here. So many people were really, really scared by the response from the regime, especially at the Charlie Kirk Memorial. The kind of really awful, divisive rhetoric that we saw from Trump and his son and other people, Charlie Kirk's widow. And yet we're seeing here in this video, and I have also seen posts from folks on the Book of Faces that echo this sentiment. Like, they really believe that something is suspicious. They don't think Tyler Robinson they think he's a fall guy. They think he's a patsy. And they think they're being lied to by Trump. Now, whether they're believing Candace Owens' version, I don't know. But the folks I've seen on the Book of Faces very much echo what this woman is saying, that they were real, like deep into the cult of Trump. They really adored him. And the Epstein list was the first big crack. And then what they're being told by the regime about Charlie Kirk's death is the second big crack. I'm fascinated by this. Christian MAGAs are peeling off from him. There's a backlash being created by his own supporters. I know a lot of us who are being targeted by the regime because, maybe we voted for Kamala Harris, or Donald Trump has decided that he's going to frame everybody who was not in sackcloth and ashes over Charlie Kirk as part of the radical left and, like domestic terrorists with a T. And that's really scary, right? The whole point.
Well, what's scary to me is that there's a mentality on both the left and the right that their guy or their woman, in the case of her, she said, we voted for Kamala Harris. You voted for Kamala Harris? You voted for a gun grabber? When you have somebody who wants to ban AR-15s, AK-47s, high-capacity magazines, it's not just an inanimate object ban. You have an individual who wants to institute a gun policy that criminalizes a whole lot of people that own those weapons. This is just one example of the many shades of tyranny and the many levels of tyranny these people distribute while they're saying, hey, we're here to protect and serve American freedoms. But if you have somebody out there that's banning inanimate objects, it's not gun control, it's people control. And the people who are going to be controlled are going to be controlled by the government who's going to have all the guns. So when you support a Kamala Harris, you're basically saying, I trust the government. I bow down at the altar of government. While they are criticizing, and rightly criticizing, people who would bow down and genuflect before the Trump government, they want you to come and bow down before their government. And that's what casting your vote is. It's you bowing down before the altar. It's you saying, I trust this government to do this. Now, I don't agree with everything that they say. It doesn't matter. What if they promise to do 99 really good things, but one super evil, sinister, genocidal thing? Well, I voted for the 99 things. I didn't vote for that one thing. No, you voted for 100% of what that guy's going to represent. And everything that he does, whether it's good or whether it's evil, is going to have your name on it. I don't care whether you're a Democrat like this person or a Republican like that other lady. You are literally voting for evil. And that's the problem. They've demeaned and dehumanized and demoralized us so much. And I'm talking about us as a collective, because I'm not voting. I'm not going to sit down and be pacified on the plantation by casting my lot into the slave suggestion box. But she's okay doing that. And so the very fact that you are involved in politics shows me that you are not interested in unity. You are interested in division, because that's all politics is division. It draws the lines between the left and the right. And if you're not on board with us, then you're a cult follower. You're following Donald Trump, or you're following George Bush, or you're following George H.W. Bush. And the people on the other side are going, no, you're following the cult of Obama, the cult of Biden, the cult of Harris. But they're both on the same exact road, heading in the same exact direction right off the cliff. They're both basically in a ditch on the left side of the road or a ditch on the right side of the statist road.
The point is that he's trying to scare you into not standing up against him. The whole point is threats and intimidation and bullying you into silence. So to see the actions of the regime, to see the fallout of Charlie Kirk's death, be this response that I really did not anticipate, I think is fascinating. Also, like, how can we use it? How can the pro-democracy movement use it? Because anything that causes somebody to wake up and realize, like, holy shit,
the pro-democracy movement, as the founding fathers rightly pointed out, and they had a bag of errors themselves, but democracy is two wolves and a lamb deciding on what to have for dinner. It's the tyranny of the majority. And she wants the majority on her side so that her guys can wield the power over the rest of us. Parker is permaculture. I'm not mad at you, but I do want, and if I'm wrong, I want you to tell me if I'm wrong. But stealing is wrong. Deceiving people is wrong. Robbing somebody is wrong. And trying to rule them against their consent is wrong. I think we can all agree with that. That's morality 101. But that's all governments do, is they lie, they steal, they cheat, they murder, they coerce, they threaten, and they use state-funded violence against the rest of us. As they waste a whole ton of money and beef up the military-industrial complex and the prison-industrial complex and propagate the drug war. If you're not on board with immorality, then you have to get off board of politics.
He's been lying to me, y'all. Anybody who can wake up and have that realization, come on over to the big tent of people who are resisting fascism and are standing for the Constitution. I'm sure we don't agree on anything else, but if we both agree that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy and that he's a liar, we can work with that. That is a starting point. Again, it's not just a couple of boomer white dudes on the Book of Faces, and it's not just this woman. The comments on her video, fascinating. Here's just a few of them. So many people who are like, I'm a Christian, but not a Trump Christian. Welcome to the awakening. This isn't right versus left. We, the people, have more similarities than we have differences. Yes, we've been trying to tell people to wake up to this for years. They all fell for the Q psyop.
By the way, it is good for people to unplug from the Trump cult. It's great for people also to unplug from the Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Democrat cult, the DNC or the RNC cult. That's great to unplug from that. But they have to be so diligent and vigilant to build up their minds and hearts against the next wave of deception when somebody stands behind the lectern and says, vote for me, I'll solve all your problems, put more money in your pocket, make sure you get health care. We're going to reduce government spending. They're always lying. They're always increasing the national debt. They're always devaluing your dollar. You're always going to have to work harder, Republican or Democrat. And they're always going to be in the back pocket of the Zio International Banking Cartel. So while it's good for them to step back and unplug from the DNC or RNC, you don't want to replace it with anything but self-determination and voluntary association, which is the opposite of what politics is.
Liberals and conservatives might not ever see eye to eye, but we can't hate each other. We are all Americans and we are being played. We've got to start sticking together for all of us.
Yes, we are all being played. We're being played by what? By who? By the people who own the RNC and DNC, which, by the way, are corporate entities. Corporations own the RNC or DNC, which means the people that they pick as president act as figureheads or CEOs for that corporation. The people who really control the puppet show are the ones who animate the puppet, the money masters.
Trump is scared. You are right about Israel controlling him. I know God is in control. I take great comfort in that. The puzzle pieces
like Israel doesn't control Biden or Harris
are coming together. It's time to remember that we only have each other, and politicians or the ultra wealthy do not care about us. It's time to reach across the aisle and unite. This is our country.
No, it's not time to reach across. Well, it is time to unite if that's what this writer means, the person who posted this means by reaching across the aisle. But it's time to dissolve the aisles. It's time to liquidate Washington's district of criminals. It's time to at least decentralize and get rid of the federal government. Kick everything back to the states and then hold each individual state and community responsible. We don't need a king, ruler, or overlord. We need to taste the sweet fruit of freedom and keep planting those freedom trees.
The comments that were like, Trump lost my loyalty because of the Epstein files. There's a lot of people saying that the Epstein files were the final straw for them when it came to Trump. There were a lot of Christians in the comments who said, I walked away from Trump 5 years ago or 2 years ago. I'm going back to reading my Bible and praying for discernment. Like God told me that Donald Trump was not a good man. I am on Team Jesus. My eyes have been wide open. So happy to see the Lord revealing to his children where our focus should be. Loads of conservative Christians in the comments, y'all. It isn't left or right. It's us versus the elites. Thank you, brave patriot. It takes courage to put truth.
It isn't left or right. It's us versus the elites. Exactly. So don't get into the big tent of anybody except for Team Humanity.
And values over the narrative you were told. Loads of Bible quotes. Having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. Lots of references to is Trump the Antichrist? or a false prophet. Everyone, left and right, needs to come together and realize they, meaning the regime, don't care about average Americans. Also interesting, several folks in the comments talking about James Tahlequah in Texas and Governor Andy Beshear of Kentucky. You know, professing Christians who do not stand with Trump, who stand for democracy, dignity, respect for our fellow Americans. Thank you for sharing. As a pastor, I'm glad to see people's eyes being open.
Tahlequah, he's a smooth talker. Andy Beshear, yep, he can talk up a storm. But they're the same. It's the same. Second verse, same as the first. They want to take your guns. They haven't done anything to eliminate property taxes in their state. They claim to be for freedom, but offer you tyranny just like they all do. And if we don't learn from history, we are doomed to repeat it.
Loads of folks saying we should be worshiping God, not the president, talking about the idolatry of the cult of MAGA. I'm a Christian who voted for Trump too, and I came to the same conclusion as you. Deception at a mass scale right now. The falling away of the church is happening now. As a 3-time Trump voter, I feel exactly the same as you. Sadly, there are many who still keep refusing to see the red flags. The question is, what do we do from here? How do we get the voice out there? What do y'all think of this? Because I'm really intrigued. Is there potential for a building Christian movement who understands that Donald Trump has led them astray? Because I, as a former Christian, I have lost so many friends down the alt-right pipeline, down the QAnon pipeline. They are now fully immersed in the cult of MAGA. Their faith and their behavior bears no representation to the people that I knew and loved prior to 2015 or 2020, depending on who I'm talking about here. But this interests me. This interests me. Can American Christians come back? And I guess I should clarify here because there's plenty of American Christians, right? The Black church in the U.S., a lot of Catholics who never supported Trump. So white evangelicals in the U.S., can they come back? Is there, I guess, not like a redemption arc for them, but are they going to wake up and realize that we're all Americans and that the Trump regime is trying to divide us? They're trying to pit neighbor against neighbor.
Yeah, the Trump regime is trying to divide you, but that's the only regime that has ever tried to divide in the history of American politics. Come on. See, this is where the hypocrisy and the inconsistency comes in the mind of a statist. They think, hey, their side is the right side. Your side is just as much predicated on violence, brutality, theft, extortion, deception as the other side. The answer is to say, you know what? Politics has been extremely destructive. In the last 100 years alone, there have been over 150 million people die at the hands of a government they trusted. That's not a good track record. Maybe we should do something different. Or do we keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result? Come into my tent. No, you don't need to go into their tent. Come into the red tent. Come into the blue tent. Team donkey, team elephant. Are we children here? We need to wake up, take responsibility for our own actions, build the community and the world that we want to see based on morality, be consistent on our stand on morality, because they can't be consistent while they continue to vote for psychopathic liars who are controlled by psychopathic lying bankers and corporate elitists.
Member against family member, that this is the super rich, this is the billionaires, including our billionaire president, trying to dismantle our country and strip away our freedoms, and that we don't actually have to have a fight with our neighbor. That the violent rhetoric that Donald Trump is trying to whip up in response to Charlie Kirk's death, where we now know there is no connection between Tyler Robinson and any group on the political left, going to wake up and realize, like, holy crap, they're using us. They're trying to distract us while they take away our democracy. What do you think, guys? What do you think about this?
All right, so leave your thoughts about what this lady said, this ex-MAGA person, and leave your thoughts about what Park Rose Permaculture said, because I think a lot of people out there have really good intentions, but obviously they've been indoctrinated by and they've been hoodwinked by this idea that politicians will save us from all of these troubles, when politicians are the source of our troubles. If government is the solution to your problem, then you're asking the wrong question. And Park Rose Permaculture, if you see this video, I'd be open to a conversation with you. I want a better world too. I don't want to live in a land of tyranny. But I think the way we do that is, number one, we institute a sound money system where the Zio International Banking Cartel can't just print money out of thin air. Number two, we need to decentralize the federal bureaucracy called Washington's District of Criminals. Number three, we need to pull all American troops out of every single country that we're in right now, bring them back to the United States, reduce government spending, and maybe tar and feather some banksters and corporate elitists who've been on the dole for years. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comment section below. If you want to support this channel, you can do it for absolutely free. Just like this video right now, share it with everybody you know, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon. If you want, there are additional links in the description. Donations are never anticipated, but always appreciated. I'll see you in the next video.